Cardiff City return to the top of the table over in League One, that's right, with, of course, Stevenage now dropping down to second. But what will go on this weekend in an absolute crazy League One, we're going to get into it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. We're looking forward to match number 14 over in League One, that's right. And if you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, you want some short for Blackburn Rovers, League One football, woo, football. We're going to all hear under one roof. Of course, goodness gracious me. Just 2 points separate sixth from top spot over in League One, which means anybody can be top of the table in those playoffs at the end of this match day. We'll get into all of that and more in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. And if you're new, hit the subscribe one more time. And one more. We're going to give you a cheeky 40-like target. Come on, guys. You can do it. I know games are just around the corner, and I do need your help. The channel is in a bit of a wounded state, but I need your loving. Can you give some likes to the channel to boost these videos? Let's get into the deep end then. Recap what went on last time around. And this is, of course, the results, of course. As you see it, big result there for Bolton. 2-1 winners over Huddersfield Town last time around. Peterborough, massive win for them over Burton. Get themselves up and at them. Lincoln taking points off Stevenage. They are the real deal, I hope. Meanwhile, Blackpool and Wycombe 1-1 as predicted. Bradford City could only draw with Barnsley 2-2 on with a 3-2 win. Cardiff did beat Reading 2-1 on with a 3-0 win. Doncaster lost to Northampton Town. Solid result for them. As for Luton, losing under Jack Wilshere 2-0 to Mansfield. Wimbledon taking points off Plymouth. Rotherham with a 1-0 win over Leyton Orient. Stockport County 1-0 winners over Exeter, and Wigan beating Vale to give themselves a much needed boost. As of course the table looks like this right here, right now. You can see Cardiff top the table with 26 points. Stevenage are in second, 25, and then the chasing pack: Bradford, Stockport County, Wimbledon, and then Lincoln. Going down is Blackpool, is Peterborough, is Burton, is Plymouth. Goodness gracious me, that's right. Plymouth back down in there. Goodness, I'm trying to know where is all the big boys. Wigan are up into 13th, Luton 14th. Yeah, a lot of work to do for some of these so-called big clubs, and of course it looks like Rovers could be heading there back down here with these guys next season. So hey, this is the prediction league. We're not doing that right now while we're doing it, but just keep putting your scores in there. I'll do a big recap, surprise league table reveal at some point. But we are now looking forward to this round of action, which of course coming at you this coming Saturday, or this weekend should we say. Actually, it all kicks off tonight. Goodness gracious me, we are late to the party. It is Exeter, it is Plymouth kicking us off in a bit of a South Coast derby. That's right. Exeter under Gary Caldwell, they sit 20th. 13 points for them right now. Just one win in the last 6. Up against Plymouth and Tom Cleverley, just one defeat in the last 4. They sit 21st, also on 13 points. They played 19 times since 2010. 8 wins Exeter, 10 wins Plymouth. 1 draw between the two sides. Coming into this, they last played over at Exeter, St James's Park. It was a 1-0 win for Plymouth back in April 2023. Plymouth, of course, losing just the once against Exeter in the last 6. Exeter on the back of that 1-0 loss to Stockport County. Plymouth also losing at home to Wimbledon. Actually, back-to-back matches at home without a win for the Green Army. The bookies' odds will give it to Plymouth. I think I'm going that way as well. Of course, it's a rivalry. Going with a 2-2 scoreline. Level playing field. Of course, form goes out the window in regards to derbies. Meanwhile, Bolton taking on Cardiff. This is a table topper if I ever saw one. Schumacher's boys are 7th right now. 20 points for them. 2 defeats in the last 6. Up against Cardiff and O'Brien, Barry Murphy. Also 2 defeats in the last 6. They sit top of the table though with 26 points compared to Bolton's 20th. Now they played 9 times to 2012, 4 wins apiece and 1 draw. Cardiff coming into this having lost last time they played at this venue back in December 2017. That was in the Championship. In fact, the last 6 has been split. 3 wins to Cardiff, 3 wins Bolton. Bolton did beat Huddersfield most recently. Cardiff beating Reading. Cardiff's last away match in the league was what are we looking at here? A 2-0 win over Wigan, it looks like. Been a long time away. Meanwhile, coming into this, Bolton are favoured for the victory according to the bookies. I'm going to go with a win for Bolton as well here. 2-1 win, very tight. But these are the big ones that matter the most. Meanwhile, Mansfield Town, they're going to be taking on Wigan, coming at you over at at Mansfield. Nigel Clough's lads there, 9th in the table, 18 points for them. They're on 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. Up against Wigan and Ryan Lowe, just 1 win in the last 6. They do sit 13th with 16 points. Now, they have played 4 times since 2003. 1 win for Mansfield, 2 wins for Wigan. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Last time they played at this venue was a 0-0 scoreline back in March 2025. That was last season. The home side hasn't won this game in these 4 matches since 2003. Mansfield picking up that 2-0 win over Luton Town at Kenilworth Road. Wigan beating Port Vale most recently 1-0 at the DW. Coming into this though, the bookies They'll go with Mansfield Town. I think I've gone that way as well. 1-0 win. Not much in it between these two sides, but Nigel Clough should get the double. Should get the points this time around. Wimbledon, they're taking on Burton, coming at you over at Plough Lane. Johnny Jackson's Wimbledon are 4th right now, 25 points for them. They're unbeaten in the last 7 matches, up against Burton, who are 22nd. They're on 42% form for them, actually just the 2 wins in the last 6. They played 17 times, though, since 2011. We have 4 wins for Wimbledon, 6 wins for Burton, 7 draws. For the last 5 between these two sides have ended up all square. Coming into this, though, Wimbledon beat Plymouth most recently. That was last weekend. That was on the road. In fact, back-to-back. Actually 3 away wins on the spin at the least for Wimbledon. They're looking very, very good on the road. As for Peterborough, beating Burton most recently 1-0. Not the great match last time around for Burton, where they should have won that game. Wimbledon, though, are favoured for this one. They are flying high. They're doing the ting, going with a win for the Dons on this one as well. Let's go to Barnsley as they take on, they're taking on Rotherham, a bit of a Yorkshire affair this one. Conor Haynes, Barnsley are 10th right now, 18 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 6 up against Rotherham and Matthew Hamshaw. They've turned it on a little bit. 17th for the table, 14 points for them. Unbeaten the last 4, picking up 3 wins on the bounce. And they played Barnsley 14 times since 2001. 9 wins Barnsley, 1 win for Rotherham, 4 draws. They last played over at Barnsley. It was in the EFL Cup this season. It was, of course, 2-1 win for Barnsley. Last time played in the league at this venue, a 2-0 win also for Barnsley, who have won 5 on the spin against the Millers here. Barnsley, they'll pick up a 5-2 win over Manchester United reserves this midweek, rather than that 1-0 win over Leyton Orient last time around. They're still celebrating that fact. 3 wins on the spin for them in all comps at the moment. Barnsley, though, massively fancied for this one. Going to go with a 2-0 win as well. Conor Hoonahane will make it back-to-back wins with that one. And, of course, get them back on track for their playoff push. Leyton Orient, they're taking on Lincoln in the battle of the L's. Who's going to take the L? Of course, at Brisbane Road. Richie Wellens' Leyton Orient are 15th right now, 14 points for them. 2 wins of the last 3 up against Lincoln and Michael Scabula. 4 wins of the last 6. They are 6 points right, 6 in the table, 24 points. They've taken on Leyton Orient 11 times since 2003. 2 wins for the Orient, 4 wins for Lincoln. There's been 5 draws. Orient picking up a 3-2 win last time they played at Brisbane Road back in February 2025. The Orient, though, are on the back of that 1-0 loss to Rotherham. Lincoln picking up that 1-0 win over Stevenage, high-flying Stevenage. The bookies cannot really decide. It is very, very tight. Maybe just shade it for the Orient. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Lincoln. Scabula is the one. He's the chosen one. Of course, I like him. I like him a lot. Meanwhile, Northampton Town taking on Luton. Of course, coming at the Six Fields. Kevin Nolan's Northampton. They are 11th. 17 points for them. 2 defeats in the last 6. Up against Lincoln and Jack Wilshere. Just 1 win in the last 6 matches. They're 14th with 16 points. They played 11 times since 2002. 5 wins Northampton. 6 wins Luton. There's been no draws. The hosts... last time they played Luton at this venue, it was a 2-0 win for Northampton back in April 2016. That was in League 2. Northampton competitively have won 3 on the bounce against Northampton Town have won 3 on the bounce competitively against Luton Town. Northampton losing to Reading most recently. Luton losing to Mansfield. So both sides coming into this on the back of defeats. Bookies odds, they'll go with Luton Town here under Jack Wilshere. Has he had enough time this week to prepare for this game? I'm going with a 1-0 win and a surprise result there, Luton Town. Meanwhile, Peterborough taking on Blackpool in a relegation 6-pointer if I ever saw one. Peterborough and Darren Ferguson, 23rd in the table, 10 points for them, 4 wins the last 6. They're getting some form together somewhere. Up against the Blackpool side and Ian Everett, back-to-back games now without a loss. They sit 24th with 9 points. They played 28 times since 2002, 11 wins apiece and 4 draws. They last played over at Peterborough, resulting in a 5-1 win for Peterborough back in October 2024. Posh are on the back of that 1-0 win over Burton. Blackpool drawing with Wycombe most recently. The bookies, they go with Peterborough. Of course, Ian Everett now in charge of Blackpool here. Up against Darren Ferguson in the dugout. Who's got the mastermind? Who will turn this over? I've gone with a 1-1 scoreline. Point in the bag for each in this relegation 6-pointer. Then we have Reading up against Doncaster coming at the Majeski. Noel Hunt's Reading are 16th right now, 14 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Doncaster and Grant McCann. They're on a downward bit of form right now, just 1 win in the last 6, 12th in the table, 17 points for them. 10 times they played since 2008, 8 wins for Reading, nothing for Doncaster, 2 draws between the two sides. They last played, of course, at the Majeski, resulting in a 4-1 win for Reading back in October 2013. That was in the Championship. Reading with that 1-0 win over Northampton Town. Doncaster losing to Northampton Town as well in the space of a week. Bookies odds, they'll go with Reading here because Doncaster are on a bit of a slump. I'm going to go with a 0-0 on this one, which doesn't really change the record books because Doncaster are still looking for that win over Reading. Let's go to Stevenage up against Bradford. What a tabletopper this is. Second place at Stevenage under Alex Revel, 25 points for them. It's just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Bradford, third in the table, 25 points for them, just one defeat in the last 6 as well. Played 12 times to 2010, 2 in Stevenage, 8 wins Bradford, 2 draws, of course. They last played at this venue. It was a 3-2 win for Bradford back in February 2023. That was in League 2. Bradford, of course, unbeaten against Stevenage over the last 6, picking up 5 wins and just that 1 draw. Stevenage, though, picking up a 5-2 win over Crystal Palace Youth most recently, but in the league, losing to Lincoln last time around. Bradford with that 2-2 scoreline at home to Barnsley. It's actually been back-to-back 2-2s for Bradford in the league. The bookies will go with Stevenage on this one. They are favoured for their victory. It's a tight one, but I'm going to lean towards Bradford City. They're just on a kick right now, and I think they're actually serious for automatics this time around. Meanwhile, Wycombe Wanderers taking on Huddersfield Town into the final 2. We go at Adams Park. Michael Duff's Wycombe are 18th right now, 13 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Huddersfield on a league grant, just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 8th with 19 points. They played each other 10 times in 2002, 2 wins Wycombe, 5 wins Huddersfield, 3 draws between the two sides. Last time they played at this venue, it was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield back in January 2025. That was, of course, in League One. The hosts has not won this game in the last 5. The last time the hosts won was when Huddersfield beat Wycombe at the McAlpine back in August 2011. Wycombe, though, drawing with Blackpool most recently, back-to-back away matches without a loss. In fact, they're unbeaten, though, in the last 4 games here are Wycombe. As for Huddersfield, losing to Bolton, losing to Stockport at home. The last away match, or last victory was on the road against Exeter. The bookies odds for this one, Wycombe are favoured. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well for Duffers, lads. Land. Moving on to Port Vale, they'll take on Stockport coming at Vale Park. That's right, I've got to do a bit of a deep digging for this one. Port Vale under Darren Moore, taking on a Stockport County side, all of course trying to compete for those playoffs once again. And this match will take place on the 27th of October. Port Vale and Darren Moore, they sit 19th right now, 13 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Stockport under Jared Challoner, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 4th with 25 points, of course. They played 16 times since 1997, 5 wins apiece and 6 draws. They last played competitively in the league, 2-1 winners it was for Stockport at Vale Park back in April 2011. Long time ago, guys. Vale, though, losing to Wigan most recently. Stockport with a back-to-back 1-0 home wins. Of course, the last away match in the league did result in a 2-1 win over Huddersfield. The bookies will go with, they're very, very tight on this one. They don't know which way they go. They're going right down the middle. I think I might be as well. 1-1 right down the smackerino. I'm reading the bookies right here. 1-1 in my eyes. And if I'm right, that's what the table will look like. It'll be Bradford City top of the table with Wimbledon now in the automatics. Lincoln breathing down the next. Going down, Blackpool, Peterborough, Burton, and Rotherham. Goodness gracious me. But it could all change still. Lots of action still to be had here over in League One. Of course, that is it. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like. Again, 40 like target. It's all down to you guys. Give the channel some love. And of course, action starts tonight. Get predictions in nice and early. But until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.